Hello dear friends, today we have a wonderful topic to discuss. We are going to talk about the lunar nodes, one of the most important astrological indications. I will explain how we calculate them, what do they represent, and also what does it mean if you have retrograde lunar nodes, which by the way has been a great question that one of you guys asked me. So thank you so much for providing such wonderful questions. So let's start with explaining what do those nodes represent or how we calculate them. Are they like the sun or the moon, or how you can see them? The truth is that the lunar nodes are not concrete objects. They are not material objects or planets. They are points which we calculate. They are extremely important, but you cannot see them with your eyes, or it's just an observation that astrologers have found for those concrete points, and they work very well for basically every horoscope. And this is one of the most karmic indication as well, your south node and your north node. And this from one side can show you your past experiences and also some qualities that you already have. This is represented by the south node, which shows the past, and on the other hand we have the north node, which shows the future or the right direction for you, or kind of representing your life mission. So let me show you first of all how you calculate those points. So honestly, I don't think that you can do this on your own, and you don't have to do that. There are tables with the lunar nodes which are calculated for us. So let's explain. Here on this drawing you can see this represents the earth. Here we are on the earth, and in the black color here, this is the path of the sun or the ecliptic. We know that the sun looks like it's moving around the earth. In reality, it's the other way around. The earth is moving around the sun, but from our perspective here from the earth, it looks like the sun is moving around us. And this path through which the sun is moving is called the ecliptic. So here in the black color is the sun path. On the other hand, the moon, which is the other extremely important planet, is moving around the earth as well, and it has its own way. So in the red color here you can see the path of the moon, and there are 2 points where those paths are crossing. First of all, here this degree is very small, the degree between the path of the sun and the moon. It's around 5 degrees. However, we have 2 points where they cross, and those points are called lunar nodes. This here is the south node, or you can also see it as Ketu or the tail of the dragon. And on the other hand, we have the north node, or also called Rahu, or the head of the dragon. So that's what we calculate here. We have 2 points which are kind of showing the connection between the sun, the moon, and the earth. So they are extremely important. And first of all, what we should know is that the lunar nodes are moving backwards. Very slowly, the moon changes the points where it crosses the path of the sun. So this is moving, this position is moving very slowly but backwards, which means that most of the time the lunar nodes are retrograde. And here we are answering actually the question which was asked by one of you guys. What does it mean if my lunar nodes are retrograde? It means that you are part of the regular case. For most of the people, the lunar nodes are retrograde, and that's normal. That's kind of, having your planets moving direct. So here we have an inversion, And if you have the lunar nodes direct, then this is the exception. This is the case which is more specific. It's kind of, you know, having, let's say, Mars retrograde in your chart. You are the exception. It happens, but for most people, Mars is direct. Well, here we have the opposite case. For most of the people, the lunar nodes are retrograde most of the time. However, of course, it happens. They can turn into direct phase, but keep in mind that here the cycles are different and they're much shorter. So for example, we know that Mercury is retrograde around 3 weeks, Venus is retrograde around 40 days, Mars around 2 months. With the lunar nodes, we talk about a couple of days. Sometimes it happens that, you know, the lunar nodes might be direct for 1 or 2 days, and then they go back to being retrograde. They can be retrograde, for example, for 10, 12 days, and then they go direct for a couple of days as well. So here the cycles are not so regular and not so long. Actually, as I said, sometimes it's just for 1 day. But remember that if your lunar nodes are retrograde, that's the normal case. So there is nothing to worry about. However, I think that this position indicates that it's very important for the person to work internally with these topics. So as we know, the North Node shows what's your path, so where you should move to and which are your life lessons. On the other hand, the South Node shows your past, some qualities that you already have, some experiences that you already have, and area of your life where you feel comfortable, especially when you are younger. Of course, it's very important here to analyze the sign and the house of your lunar nodes. This will show you in which life area you need to concentrate. First of all, the sign and the house of the South Node can show you area of your life where you feel safe, you feel like there is, you know, usually you have some kind of resources there. You have some kind of support, or you feel comfortable there. It's familiar, it's something close to you. But it's important to move towards your North Node. Again, we need to analyze the sign and the house position of the North Node. It will show you in which area or in which direction you should move forward. And here I have seen people make a very common mistake. They don't make a difference between a sign and a house. For example, they think that having the North Node in Aries is absolutely the same as having the North Node in first house, which is not absolutely true. So remember that the sign of the nodes show you the qualities that you need to gain. So the North Node shows the qualities, the sign, of the North Node shows the qualities that you need to gain or experience. And the house position shows in which life area it should happen. So very often I have seen people make this mistake, mostly with the nodes, but not only, with planets as well. So it's not the same, again I repeat, to have the North Node in Aries and to have it in first house. There is a difference. So make sure to combine all of those interpretations. In the future, actually, we can make a more extensive videos or some kind of training if you're interested to learn more about those combinations, because as you can see, there are many. So I think that 144 combinations, if I remember correctly, between, a certain position of the North Node in sign and house. But it's very important actually to find those things for yourself. I can give you an example with my chart just to show you what's the approach. For example, in my chart, the South Node is in Libra in fourth house. So Libra as a sign can show that the person may like the harmony, you know, the nice relationships, connections with others, can value love and, you know, relationships in general. Now, the house position, fourth house, shows you in which concrete life area the person is connected to. Fourth house is about family, it's about the home, it's about, you know, the internal world of the person. And on the other hand, North Node is in Aries, in 10th house. So Aries are the qualities that I should learn. For example, to be brave, to be independent, to take action, to take risks. So the fire qualities of Aries. And 10th house shows the area of life where this should happen. So 10th house is about career, about your vocation and social work. So don't forget to make the difference between the sign and the house position, but you should always combine them. You should, you know, analyze them together. And as we already said, the regular case, the normal case is for the nodes to be retrograde. And I think that the main idea of this is that the person needs to work more on an inner level. So the process starts more from within the person. Because as we know, the lunar nodes also can show us our growth, our path, our direction. So the internal part is very important. And if your lunar nodes are direct, you are the exception. This is a rare case. And I think that here there is a bigger focus on the outer world, where you should, you know, achieve things or get your results or gain new qualities. So the retrogradness of the lunar nodes shows more the internal process of growth that you should go through. And the direct motion of the lunar nodes shows that these qualities can be gained or experienced more externally in the outer world. But please, guys, don't forget about your lunar nodes. They are really one of the most important indications in the chart. So if I have to pick up only one indication to analyze in someone's chart, I would definitely pick up the lunar nodes. That's how important they are. And here, don't make also the mistake to think that there is something bad about the nodes, because there isn't. Yes, you should move towards your north node, but the south node is some kind of resource that you have, some kind of potential that you have worked for during previous life and, you know, so on. So there is nothing wrong, there is nothing bad about the lunar nodes. They are very, very important, and they show you qualities that you already have and qualities that you need to gain. So I hope I was able to answer your question about the lunar nodes. If you have some other questions related to astrology, which are more general, like this one, you know, theoretical questions, you are absolutely welcome to send me an email. I will try to answer them and to provide more and more knowledge for you. If you would like to get a personal interpretation of your chart plus some life coaching strategies and advices, you can find my services through the link below the video. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you really soon.